Hi, this is Brittany Monique Walker with GypsyJaunt.com. We are in the beautiful borough of Brooklyn. Today we're going to be talking to a wonderful local photographer who took a fabulous journey from the East Coast of America all the way down to Belize.
I am an artist. I am a photographer, an anthropologist, a writer, a singer, an actress, a chef, and I'm very, very thankful when I'm able to take all of this and bring it all together into one nice big pot of soup.
Now, I don't ever pronounce her name properly, so we're going to have a lesson. So how do we pronounce your name?
It's Regine Romain.
Regine Romain.
That's very close. It's very close. If you feel challenged by that, then Gigi is fine.
Gigi. Gigi the photographer.
My interest in photography started young. And then when I really started developing interest in culture, specifically African diaspora culture, Caribbean culture, and really I started looking at the images, and photographs by like Chester Higgins, right? He's phenomenal. His work tremendously influenced me. Also Nestor Hernandez, a Cuban-American photographer. I saw his exhibition in 1999 of Cuba, and I was ready to marry him. Sight unseen, I said, this must be my husband. And so for me, at the core, everything is about love. It's about a love of life. And so you see that. Like for me, Cuba is one of the places that anyone and everyone should go at least once in their life. And the same with Haiti. Haiti has a mystical magic element to it. My last trip to Haiti was in 2010. And that was right after the earthquake. And that earthquake, 7.0 earthquake that took almost 500,000 lives, which many people don't recognize and don't realize, which is more than, unfortunately, the bombing of Hiroshima. I mean, if you can imagine that many people at one time in history to be wiped from the face of the earth, and what happens to their stories, what happens to their legacies. I'm accountable to these people because they're me and our stories.
Now tell me about the work that you're doing here in Brooklyn.
I've been working for an organization called Flamboyant Haitian Literacy Project, and the intention is to work with newcomers to the United States, Haitian newcomers that are in need of assistance. And so we had a program where I went into Clara Barton, and also another program where I taught girls, middle school girls. And the other work that I've been doing is really gathering my thoughts for an epic adventure. This journey is called Brooklyn to Benin, a Vodou pilgrimage, and basically looking at the survival of traditional African religion, music, dance, and looking at its survival and its current expression in Brooklyn, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Miami, Haiti, and then returning to Benin, West Africa, which is the birthland of Vodou, and attending the Vodou festival that takes place in January.
Let's jump right into your journey that you took.
Oh yes,
that
was
the
magical journey. That journey was to Belize, and I was traveling with two remarkable women.
You didn't know them very well, right?
I didn't.
Now we talked before about your journey, and you talked about all the challenges and everything that you went through during this long journey. First of all, how long was it?
It was just under 30 days. So we left from Laurel, Maryland, which also happens to be where I grew up. I was born in D.C., but I grew up in Laurel, Maryland. So we left from there. And then we drove down into North Carolina, South Carolina, and just went. So it was about maybe 27, 28 days. Yeah. And then while we were in Mexico, we went and sought out this shaman that we had been told about. And so we slept in the desert, and we actually were able to learn about peyote and actually pick our own peyote and have our own peyote festival.
That's really great. I bet it was a festival.
But also what was amazing about Mexico is that we went to go see the Olmec heads. And the Olmec heads, Ivan Van Sertima speaks extensively about the African presence that existed in the Americas. And so we went deep into Mexico to go and see.
Being with all these other women in the car, in a small, very small car for almost 30 days. Tell me about the development that you experienced being a part of this journey with these ladies.
Well, before I even decided to do the journey, I had to recognize certain aspects about myself. And I had to be clear about how much of myself I was bringing and then my baggage. I had to check myself. So it wasn't even really about anyone else. It was just about myself and letting go of certain baggage, really. You know, just letting it go and saying, you know, I've come so far and this sounds like a beautiful time and space to explore. Do it and enjoy yourself. And that's what I did.
If you can give advice to any woman, what would that be?
I would say to be true. When we step forward with that full acknowledgement of our purpose and our tools and our skills and our value, when we step forward in that way, we're able to help someone else step forward. You know, and that's where we are on, like the journey that we're on, like, you know, be who you are and be proud.
Thanks for joining us. We had a great time with Gigi today. We checked out some of her photography, got some great travel tips, and even got to see her cook a little bit. And speaking of which, I'm feeling a little hungry. So we're gonna go check out one of my favorite spots in Brooklyn called Hunan Delight. It's a Chinese restaurant with lots of vegetarian choices. Until next time, I'm Brittany Monique Walker with GypsyJaunt.com.